What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventurer 1994 here, and it is Monday, January 9th, 2023, and we have concluded the NFL regular season yesterday. The Giants have officially made the playoffs for the first time since the 2016-17 season. We are in the number 6 spot in the NFC for a wild card. We finished with a record of 9-7-1 because we had a tie this season. So we have a record of 9-7-1, and that's a pretty neutral record for the NFL right now, due to the fact that there are 17 games being played now instead of 16. The Giants have a pretty decent record, but it's almost a neutral record. And we are in the wild card. We got the number 6 seed for the NFC. And we are expected to play the Minnesota Vikings next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. And let's talk about the other teams. Before I do, I would like to say that the Giants have officially made the playoffs after 6 years. They finally got their game plan back on track. Hopefully it sticks, but I don't know yet because it's been a rough 5 years for them. But hopefully it sticks. I don't know yet. It might be just 1 year. Who knows? The Giants are hard to predict nowadays. We don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. But they're not really favored for a Super Bowl. I can understand that. I'm going to give them time still. But if they do, they do. That would be great. But I'm not really pushing them to the Super Bowl this soon because they just got back in the playoffs. I'm in no hurry to be in the Super Bowl, but I could just be thankful they just got a wild card. So it's another disappointment for the Detroit Lions again. They were expected to make a comeback in the playoffs after 6 years too, beside the Giants. But it wasn't enough for the Lions after Seattle won yesterday against the Rams. So the Lions are missing the playoffs once again. The Lions were doing so much better, but it turns out it wasn't enough. Like, they looked bad for the first half of the season, and then they started climbing back up, like, after Thanksgiving. But, once again, it's another miss for them. And the Green Bay Packers are missing again after 4 years. They were pretty solid for 3 seasons, and then they just fell back again. If Seattle lost that game against the Rams yesterday, the Lions would have been in the playoffs. That's the one upsetting thing about it, is that the thing is, I feel really terrible about what the Lions have been going through for the last 20 years, and they had an 0-16 record back in 2008, and I want them to get better after that all happened. Yeah, it's been really tough for the Lions for the last several years. They really need to step it up again. Hopefully 2023 will bring in some magic for them, because I think it's gonna get better from here. And they want some changes. I've been feeling really bad for them for the last several years after they went 0-16 too. And they suffered that long playoff drought during that time. And the Browns are going through another collapse again. They finished with a 7-10 record. I just hope they're not getting worse again. So, for the first time in 5 years, the Eagles have played their strongest since the 2017-18 season when they won the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. The Eagles finished with a 14-3 record. And that is like the best record in the NFC. Believe it or not, they're actually tied with the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs. But when they're both 14-3 like that, it's hard to know which one is actually the top team in the NFL if they're tied with the same best record. The Chiefs are the best in the AFC and the Eagles are the best in the NFC right now. This is the strongest I ever seen the Eagles play since the 2018 Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, which is a Super Bowl I wound up not watching because of the matchup that we were seeing. It was like a city that I hate playing against another city that I hate when it comes to the NFL. I hate both the Eagles and the Patriots. And if it was a Cowboys and a Patriots matchup, forget it. I would miss that. Definitely. I would definitely want to miss that. And Tom Brady was with New England at the time. You know, I hate the Patriots, but losing Tom Brady is an unacceptable excuse to start looking bad. It's like, you know what? We lost Tom Brady, so we're just gonna rot in the field. It doesn't work like that, guys. If you knew your team is gonna look so bad, then why not draft better players? I mean, Tom Brady is not gonna be around forever, you know. I'm getting really annoyed with the Patriots, how they just start looking bad over losing Tom Brady. If you're losing such a key player, why didn't you guys draft the better players if you want to continue making the playoffs? Instead of just not doing anything and just letting your team rot. It doesn't make sense, you know? I still hate the Patriots, but I find it unacceptable that they're struggling without Brady. And I think Tom Brady's having his time too, because he's starting to get older, and the Buccaneers haven't really been that great this season. I think it's because Brady is getting a bit older. He might be getting closer to retirement, who knows. I heard they're making a Tom Brady movie in February that took place during the 2017 Super Bowl when they were playing against the Atlanta Falcons in Houston. Yeah, that Super Bowl really bummed me out. The Falcons were having it good for the earlier parts of the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden the game went overtime, and then the Patriots just jumped right back up. I was outraged by that. So, the Seahawks have returned to the playoffs after missing last year, and the Ravens are also coming back after a one-year miss. And the worst teams we saw this year are the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Yeah, the Bears have also collapsed, and Houston is at its time where I think Houston needs to go on a long rebuild because of how bad they really looked. They couldn't really win anything throughout the year. It was really disgusting. And the Dallas Cowboys are back in the playoffs for consecutive years. I can't remember the last time they did this. I'm going to have to search their history again. The Bengals are back. Who else have we got? I'm thinking. We also have the Chargers coming back into the playoffs for the first time since 2018. Yeah, there are a lot of teams that are making a comeback to the playoffs after missing so many years. And the Miami Dolphins are also coming back into the playoffs also. after 6 years, just like the Giants. It's been really tough for the Miami Dolphins. Like, they were almost there for the last 2 years, and then they wound up missing, and they're finally back in. So, even though they're rivals to a New York team, I still have respect for them. I mean, they're nothing like the Patriots or somebody in my division. And we got our in the Washington team finally got its new name called the Commanders. And I hope the Bills don't face an early elimination after losing that player who collapsed on the field. Prayers are still going out to him. We're all praying as best as we could. But hopefully the Bills don't face an early elimination. So yeah, the playoffs begin next week. It's going to be a really interesting playoff series. There's going to be a lot happening. And I also heard the Vikings are back too after 3 years. So yeah, there are a lot of teams coming back into the playoffs, and the playoffs begin next week. And I guess that's it. Bye.